Guys, today the girls and I are doing a quick little family camping trip to a place in Arizona that most people will never ever see, and that is because it is a cool little collection of rocks that most people have only seen when they've been driving on the I-10 in southeastern Arizona, and most people just don't think to go here. So we're going to take you on a quick little hike, show you some cool things. I'll take you around camp, talk about some of the upcoming travel trailer projects, and hopefully it'll be a nice little escape for you if this video airs while the quarantine thing is still going on. Where are we going, Mom?
I think up that way, although I think there's an arch that way.
We're on a little family hike to a place, I believe it's called Texas Arch, and it is somewhere back up in there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a couple areas that look to have arches, but I think the one we're going to go to is the bigger face that has almost like a little curved shadow. Jump, Mom. That was pretty good.
Good girl.
What are you doing?
Wow, what you doing, Ollie?
I don't want my gun, it has hair in it.
Okay, throw it in the
Ollie,
middle
come.
of the bush.
Whoa, that's an adventure dog right there. What's that for rock?
A bum.
Somebody's bum?
But look at the poop.
Oh. Yeah.
Socks. Good.
So we're getting closer, and I think you might be able to see where we think the arch is a little bit better. See where that shaded area is kind of curved. The arch kind of goes this way. So if you're looking from this side, you'll be able to see through it. But if it's not there, we'll walk around and see where else it might be. So my wife thinks she saw either a sheep or a cat or a deer or something hopping up on the rocks up here. And I'm pretty sure that there are no bighorn sheep in this area. So that leaves us with a mountain lion or a deer. So not too concerned. We have multiple people and a dog, but maybe we'll see something cool. Is this like the best climbing place ever?
Yep. And the best broken bone place ever.
Why would you say that?
Because it's a good area to get a broken bone.
What do you think, babe?
It's pretty incredible. We've always wanted to explore it, and I'm glad we did.
I think
Yeah, look at the scene, the view from here. It's incredible.
Look at, there's like a little lizard or something. You'd have it.
Hey, what do you think? Is this like the best snack area in history?
Have it.
I would think so. What do you think?
Yeah. And if you look over there, Dad, look.
Hey, did you find a nice little shelter?
Yep.
Or a little fort? What do you see behind you?
A good area for snakes.
There's another little vein, almost quartz looking vein. And yeah, a good area for snakes.
It's kind of scary.
That thing is just balanced there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see, that's only touching on like 3 locations. There's a little bit of a gap right in the middle. Have there, Marley?
Cotty plants, and they come from the yucca plant.
Sometimes they call them century plants, and that is the piece that grows out of the middle of it, like something like that, real tall at the end of its life.
And this one's broken.
And what do we use these for?
Walking sticks.
Yeah. And that right there where Olive is standing is a century plant. And that is what we were talking about before, the little cotty poles that grow up after, I think the plant hits like 25 or 30 years old.
Like this one, which is
I think they called them century plants back in the day, just because probably people didn't live long enough. They just assumed it lived about 100 years. And to give you a little bit of context of this area, this is part of the same group of mountains that also houses the Cochise Stronghold. For those of you who might be familiar with Western history, the Apache warrior Cochise put up quite a fight with the military and early settlers back in those days. And you can see these type of rocks just provide a really nice area to fight and hide, you know, basically defendable fortresses. There, as far as you can see on the skyline, is the Cochise Stronghold area. Again, it's just like this place, maybe not so many boulders, but probably more larger rocks, like the big formations we're walking to. Oh yeah, and that's the that's the interstate down there.
Yes, perfect.
These rocks, look at this. Rock is just so...
They are kind of scary.
Look at that.
I
feels like it could fall anytime.
And you got to think this thing at some point is going to move. That is pretty impressive. So I think we're going to climb right up in there where you can probably almost see like a little water seep, and then the arch is on the other side of this rock. At least that's what we think.
They're all black.
Bumblebees can be black and yellow.
I learned that they're all black.
We've reached the first little section of this canyon on the other side of the arch, and you can just barely start to see a little bit of sky through there, right in the middle of your screen. Clearly we're not going to be climbing up. I thought this side would be a little bit better, but I'll go ahead and walk up here just so you can see a little context of size, and then maybe we'll go somewhere there and see if we can see it a little bit better. Ollie, come. See where the water is just
little tiny drips at a time.
Where the water's seeping down the edge. That seep comes down and has carved a little channel in the rock, almost like a little flushing slide, and goes all the way down there. You girls can see the arch now.
Right up there.
And I have a broken rock that can fit back together.
That's pretty cool. There's another one of those rocks that just kind of balancing. So I climbed up to that seep. You can see it right behind me. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's dripping, and that's what goes down a couple different levels and eventually ends up where I showed it to you from the bottom, right down there. And the girls are down there. As you can see, I just didn't want them climbing up here, but you can see the arch really, really well now. I know this isn't Arches National Park, but considering it's a place right off the roadside, pretty darn cool.
You went all the way that far. I'm kind of nervous too.
You can come.
This is fun. Do you want to keep playing?
Yeah. And here comes Olive. She wants to get in the pond so bad. Oh, oh no. Ollie, come. Loves it.
Woohoo! This is awesome.
Are you going to go that way? Think this is a dinosaur backbone, Marley?
I don't think it's a real backbone.
It's that kind of age, though. Is that pretty cool? Now go back. On.
Nice. Whoa, that's
so we're just heading back from the little hike to see the arch. I think what did we spend? 3-4 hours doing it, babe?
Yeah, probably about 3.5.
And Marley is just taking this opportunity to parkour on every rock that she sees. Be careful with that one. And we'll get to the campsite. Maybe I'll do a quick, show you around. It's not that there's much. We didn't really set anything up because we're only going to be here for a day or two, but I don't know. Anyway. You gonna jump? And we made it back to camp. There's the trailer down there. All right, so we're back at camp, and I figured I'd give you a little bit of a tour of the area we're camping in. Obviously, it's all these same type of super cool boulders. Marley has been just parkouring like crazy on everything. And anyway, it's just super cool. Those of you who have followed the travel trailer project, I think the last big video I had you on was our last big summer camping trip. And I've taken it out a couple times since, but didn't do any filming. So this trip is kind of like us to get out of the whole quarantine thing, get out of the house, and also for me to do a little brainstorming on the last 2 or 3 projects that I'm going to do on this trailer. One is, you can see that there's no awning. I haven't built that yet. And 2, an outdoor shower. That'll be the absolute last thing I do. But the next thing I'm going to do is a little kind of porta potty kind of cabinet that will store the porta potty. So if we're driving on the road, it'll be inside. It'll look just like the kitchen cabinet, and I'll dub in a little clip of the kitchen cabinets, so it'll have that same little thing. But anyway, so we could just flip it up, use it if we need to, but generally when we're camping at a place for like a week or so, we will go put it somewhere in between some trees and put tarps around it. And there's Marley.
Hey.
And that's all she's gonna say right now, but I don't really use that, so it's really more for the girls and for, if we go to a national park or something like that and we have to have facilities. As for me, I take a shovel and just a quick little update for some of the things that I get questions on most commonly. Yes, every time I've been taking it out, I put the DIY travel trailer lock on. I figure it is better to be safe than sorry, and is a pretty good deterrent for most criminals. I know some of you will say you can cut through it, and yes, any lock can be defeated. And then the battery and solar system has been working super awesome, have not had any problems. This thing usually tops off the battery after running the refrigerator all night and lights and fans, probably in the first hour or 2 of the day. And everything else is going pretty good. I don't think I ever really showed this before, but that's my breakaway system. It's just a Engager Hopkins breakaway system, and it is just trickle charged from the connection on the truck when it's plugged in for traveling on the highway. And yes, if you were wondering if we were going to open up that front window, we did. That was my DIY window awning with the leftover aluminum diamond plate that I used to make all this stuff. So works pretty good. Keeps the rocks out of the windows on the interstate, and makes a nice little shade. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but this area of Texas Canyon that most people are aware of is actually most known for being a rest stop just off the I-10, probably about half a mile south of here. And it's really not known for being an area to come camp, but I've driven past it tons of times and I've always wanted to camp here. So we're actually on a little section of BLM and state land. but we did have to get permission from a private landowner that owns a section of land where there's a gate. But they were very nice. They said as long as we had a state land recreation permit, they'd be happy to let us in. And because obviously we're camping on public land, but we just needed to have them let us in. So anyway, I think we're gonna get ready to eat dinner, and I think I might get the drone out and show you a bit more aerial views of this area. Well guys, I think I'm going to close this video out. We finished dinner, and now it is time for some enjoyable time around the campfire and maybe roasting marshmallows, an adult beverage for Dad, and maybe I'll show you some clips of the campfire and different things like that. So anyway, be on the lookout for those, projects for the travel trailer. As you know, with my projects, I kind of go up in cycles. So those will be coming, and then I'll be back to something else random. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Check me out on Instagram. Hit the subscribe button, thumbs up if you like this, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. Daddy's gonna try.
Okay guys, I am going to try to do the wall run on a rock.
Okay.
We are who we are. Why don't I be me and you be you? We're spreading color around us. We're lighting up the sky, it's what we do. We shouldn't care about anyone or anything that brings us down. So come on now, let's be free. Just be yourself. Keep on doing what you do, doing what you do. Just keep on doing what you do, doing what you do, doing what you do, doing what you do, doing what you do. Do what you like, do what you like to do, do what you like, do what you like, do what you like to do. Ain't no one stopping you.
Hot cocoa.
Try to express yourself in your own way, and we could have some fun. No problems.